So in the previous segment, we discussed how, which are the campaigns or which are the brands that are really outshining the rest. Pops mentioned how print and design have been the traditional categories that have been winning big at international award shows. Also, these are the categories where we see the most amount of scam work. Is it the time for us to break away from scam work to create really good award-winning entries? Shripad.
I think yes. We do see quite a few campaigns which are specifically, you can make it out that they are with the awards in mind. I think we have a huge opportunity with our strengths in digital that we are now coming up with. And I think in a year or two, we must aim for some really good work in digital. And I have another thought. The trouble is that a lot of times the awards are creative idea centric, and the jurors, being from the creative side, tend to look at the craft, tend to look at the idea and the execution a lot more than they look at the media idea at times. And I think two areas, and this is a trend I see worldwide that will happen. One is appreciating the media idea for the media idea, and looking at performance in true sense, which relates to your scam thing.
Yeah. What do you think, Pops?
I think the issue is dying down a bit.
You think so?
It was quite rampant, say about 7-8 years back. India and Brazil were two accused nations in the world. Anything coming out of Brazil or India, people used to watch. Today, I think the importance of the categories with this kind of little one-offs has become minuscule. Therefore, worth focusing on that is also becoming far lesser. Second, the juries and then the festivals, more than the juries, the festivals, juries, as Shripad said, they only go by what is given to them. If the idea is good, everything is good, they leave it to the festivals to really figure out the legitimacy of the entries. So I think, one, the recognition and importance of that. You will not become a superstar today if you were to do an obscure campaign. Maybe 5-7 years back you would have got 100% increment and a bonus pack, but today you may not get. So therefore, those kind of things. And then the jurors have also become very smart, not just in print and design, in digital. The believability of digital campaigns, 15 million impressions and something, suddenly you take the mobile phone, you check, the campaign and then the results, there is quite a bit of, so a lot of things, technology is actually bringing them to light much quicker. Yeah. And then second, most of the traditional scam categories, the importance of that is diminishing. Therefore, people are not pushing that much. And second, this entire game has also started with the gun report. My good friend Donald Gunn need to be blamed for that, because the gun report has become such an important thing to acquire business globally. Yeah. So everybody wants to be on top of the list. So therefore, the scores and contributing countries and everybody need to be there. That put tremendous pressure. Now the advertising is shifting. Today it is all about innovation. It's all about cyber. It is all about interactivity. It is all about technology. A lot of other things which have opened up. If you see at Cannes, print and outdoor is very small. They don't even cater, half a day to that. Rest, even seminars to everything, rest has become so big. So that itself has become very small. And then therefore it will die a natural death. But new form of things might evolve, because the need to be recognized is a human greed, which will always be there.
The believability and how convinced are the jury, that part of it we'll come back. But Saurabh, you are a strategy person at heart. I want to know from you, which are those campaigns that have been really effective, or have, driven results for that particular brand?
See, what I can tell you, Shivani, is that the way I look at great work is I actually have a great sense of cynicism when people throw numbers like views, impact in the, as far as popular culture is concerned, that to me is the base level. I mean, you look at any great campaign, it will tell you 30 million views, 40 million views, so that's a given. The second thing which I look at, which for me becomes, the next level, is really around the whole concept of impact, and that's behavior change. What were you trying to achieve, and what did you really finally manage to do? And the third, right, is actually even to me the final level, which is where I'm interested in, which is really looking at saying what is the business impact this had in the marketplace. Remove all the other variants, remove distribution. Did you have an increase in distribution or not? Did you spend more money or less money than your competitors, right? You equate everything off, and then what is really the ROMI? What is the return on marketing investment? And that to me is what great work should do. Great work ultimately has to result in business. It should be scalable, it should have big impact in society, and it should lead to a business result. If that doesn't happen, then frankly the rest of it is us just patting each other on our backs and feeling good about it. It's not really going to be, it's not going to lead to respect as far as clients are concerned.
Yeah. So one of the major issues I think also is the way in which we present our entries to the international jury. So Sonal, what can we do to present better to the international jury? Because you have to convince the jury members about your campaigns at the end of the day.
I mean, there are some very, so to say, very apparent tips, which is that be absolutely clear and get to the point really fast. If there's any cultural base to your idea which needs to be explained, then try to explain it as fast as possible. And because we have to also keep in mind that the jury is going through thousands and thousands of entries, absolutely, sitting in the dark room from early morning till late night. So anything that immediately doesn't deliver its message and holds you will be kind of fast forwarded, or glossed over immediately. And the thing is that once you have created a piece of work with your blood, soil and tears, and which has done great stuff out there in the market, it's very important. It becomes almost a responsibility to spend as much time presenting the case for that. So if the case is shoddy, then you've done absolute injustice to all the nights that you spend working on that campaign, and you're doing injustice to everything, even to the audience in a way, to the brand, to the client, to everybody, by doing a shoddy case study. So it's really important that the way it's presented, it might be a case study, it might be a little press release that you're sending out. Everything, when you're talking about a campaign, when you have built your campaign, the campaign is successful, it's created all the impact.
Storytelling in itself.
But how to present that campaign, that in itself is a storytelling piece, as you're rightly saying, and it should have as much finesse and as much possibly hard work that has gone into creating that campaign.
So have you seen such stories?
So I just want to build on that, and then I'll see. You know what? I think you should stop thinking of it as a video case, right? Then you think of it as a very sort of subjective thing, whatever objective thing. Start thinking of it as the advertising for the advertising, right? You are almost creating a video brochure that will sell the idea that you've created, right? So it must have either the cultural context, the problem context, and then the solution, right? Write it and rewrite it like you would write an ad. I mean, that's the only way to do it, and produce it almost like one. So it takes it takes effort, it takes time, and unfortunately it takes money, which India doesn't have a lot of. So.
And have we seen such cases where the case
out of
study is a good story?
No, I haven't seen very many good ones. I think a lot of our ideas win despite of the cases, because unfortunately our habit, as with everything, is to do everything at the last minute and not to put as much attention as we want. The guys abroad spend months doing that. We don't. It's not in our freaking nature.
Although I would say that they are becoming better. So Bobby is being extra harsh.
No, they are getting better, but it's all relative.
I want to add something. Most often everyone, this is a problem not just in India but across the world. But every jury panel I've been into this year, all of them say the same thing. you take a piece of work and then you enter that in 10 categories, and then you do one film and then enter into everything. You forget that a mobile jury is looking from a point of view of what did you do, whether you are responsive there, and then whether you are loading faster, are you using any other geolocations, tagging, anything to do with what a mobile can do.
Yeah.
But you take an integrated case and then put it for mobile, it is going to lose.
Yeah.
You may win a Grand Prix in integrated, but in mobile you are going to lose. The same thing will apply to many other things. You go and then put that into PR. I mean, if you are judging mobile, what difference it will make whether it is being picked up by a television channel, some Gujarati channel, or some Arabic channel, and then which has absolutely no views, which is make absolutely no impact on people. So therefore, people need to be a little choosy about which categories they want to enter, whether they have a real case in those categories or not, and then make a case study to that channel.
Yeah.
Then you will actually be focusing. Otherwise, you are yawning. You have got unnecessary information.
Why,
and
in
then,
fact, in some cases, across awards, you see the same kind of video.
10 times you will
funny.
watch the same
Funny.
video.
So the same entry. Why I think Pops made a good comment on choose the category and prepare it for that and spend the time that Bobby said. But same thing across awards. It's
So
funny.
it comes back to the same thing, no? Time, effort, and most importantly, money. If you do 5 videos, instead of 2 lakhs, you're paying now 10 lakhs.
And the fact that case studies are not restricted to 2 minutes. So in that 2 minutes, you have to give the most pertinent information. So you might have an activation that's also you want to also enter in design category, because there must be a part of activation that's about design. So those 2 minutes have to be focused on design.
Shripad, in the international award shows, we see a lot of technology-first campaigns. So, have we seen such a striking campaign on digital or technology, where it is technology first?
We haven't. I think it's a telling sign of the way we work. We still are in silos. We had 2 silos first in terms of functioning, creative and media, and then we have a digital silo. Digital creative is thought of differently in many ways. So I think while that's a problem, that's also a huge opportunity. Because like Pop said, we are restricted to posters and POP and so on. I think digital and technology, if the creative fraternity, embraces it and recruits creatives and digital creatives not done by separate teams but mainstream digital teams, then India will do very well in this.
What do you think, Saurabh?
I think we're already doing that, right? I disagree with Shripad actually. So if you look at OLX Mad Ads, which is one of the pieces we have entered, it's a platform which took 11 months in the making, and it's actually as creative as it can get, because it's, Crispin Porter has just launched something which is similar, right? And everybody's talking about it. So we've done it. I think it's there, and you will see this in Cannes as well, right? So I think we're already doing it. I think we just need to do a lot more of it.
I would also disagree with the Tripster. That's a pure digital entry.
You know what? I think, technology first ideas to me, I think that's something that's probably like 5 years back. You talked about it. No disrespect. I think if you take a lot of the great work, it's idea first, right? And these are broad. Forget big. Big happens later. They're broad ideas that encompass many tools, right? Technology, media, everything else is a tool. Now, if you have a story that's broad enough to tell, and everything is a story, right? Even the UI is a story. So, if you have a story that's broad enough to tell, right, across various media, and it is like a trail of breadcrumbs, right? Then Hansel and Gretel, right? Then you have something going, because it is a rich enough experience for people to navigate.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having us, and Merry Christmas. Yeah?
Thank you.
On this week's Noticeboard, we have a very interesting campaign, and it's an anthem. BJP government celebrated its 2 years with an anthem saying, "Mera desh badal raha hai, aage badh raha hai," and it is written by Piyush Pandey. Let's see what the anthem is all about.
देखो आसमां में खिलकर सूरज निकल रहा है, देखो आसमां में खिलकर सूरज निकल रहा है, देश का परचम अब ऊंचा उड़ रहा है, बरसों का अंधेरा रोशन हो रहा है, गरीब की रसोई से धुआं हट रहा है। मेरा देश, मेरा देश, मेरा देश, मेरा देश बदल रहा है, आगे बढ़ रहा है, मेरा देश बदल रहा है, आगे बढ़ रहा है।
I wouldn't call it a celebration. I think it's 2-year communication. It's a 2-year report card. It's a 2-year way of talking to your population that this is what is happening, this is what is benefiting people, and there is more to come. So I think it is important for any government to talk to its people, give them a kind of an update as to what is happening in your lives, what has already happened, what is in the process of happening, what is there ahead of you. I think a dialogue, it is kind of a dialogue with the people.
बैंक अब सभी का खाता खोल रहा है, रेल का सफर अब मन को भा रहा है, हुनर के हौसले से रोजगार बढ़ रहा है। मेरा देश, मेरा देश, मेरा देश, मेरा देश बदल रहा है, आगे बढ़ रहा है, मेरा देश बदल रहा है, आगे बढ़ रहा है, मेरा देश बदल रहा है, आगे बढ़ रहा है, मेरा देश बदल रहा है, आगे बढ़ रहा है।
It is nice to see how the government is updating the citizens on all the progress that they have done. With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all our content on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Thanks for watching and we'll be back same time next week. See you soon.